Welcome to the Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew and let's get to the show.
Mamma mia, here I go again. It's the Daily Grind. Man, okay. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am your host, not four Swedes, but Luke Hatmaker, and it is Tuesday. We took the Monday off yesterday because it was my birthday and I wanted the day off. That's not true. Well, we took the day off. And it's Tuesday, and that means I have the one, the only, Dr. Rusty Buckets with me. How are you, brother? Are you good?
I'm good, man. It is flooding here in Memphis, so I'm grateful I'm inside, Luke. You know, I missed you yesterday, but I'm glad you had a good birthday. On your birthday, I actually went for a job interview. Just kind of seeing what's out there and just putting some feelers out there. And they got me in a bind, though. They asked me, they said, can you perform under pressure? And I paused and was like, no, but I can do Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes. Oh, God. I should have led with Queen this morning. But that's okay. Oh, nope, I ruined it. There it was. We were having
a little silhouette of a man.
Well, God, I love Queen. Man, we should just do a
off the rails already.
Yeah, God, we're off the rails. It's just we just started this week and we were already off the rails.
That's it. But we're getting birthday love for Luke, my guy. Glad it was a good day yesterday. Glad you had the day off. I know we're going to talk more about your day later in Tuesday, but hope it was a good birthday. It was more lasagna than it was a Monday.
Which it was. Which let me. Before we dive into basketball, shout out Uncle Buck. I know that he was out being a Power Ranger over the weekend. And if it's raining there right now, man, I was without power for 16 hours over the weekend. And I don't know what to do with my hands for that long. And there was like no basketball on top of it. And so I was just like, couldn't even find a radio. It was fine. I digress. That was my Monday from the weekend, but never mind. Let's talk about the basketball from the weekend. The conference. I couldn't say this word in pre-show. Conference finals are set. Let's start with the Western Conference Finals. And before we jump into that, I guess it should be noted that the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Denver Nuggets Game 7 on Sunday, 125-93. They were playing. Michael Porter Jr.
playing with their
arm
for most of this series, but then the Nuggets got beat up, and we talked about that a lot, Luke. Right? Eventually, the Nuggets' depth would catch up to them, and it did on Sunday.
Yep, and it's interesting because if the Thunder could this have been a sweep? Could this have been a 5-game series? Maybe. The Thunder are probably beating themselves over the head because they should have won one of those games. But when you have the depth that OKC does, and then when you're in the situation that the Nuggets were, and it's a long series and people get hurt, you're just tough. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. had one arm.
Aaron Gordon was on one leg.
Yeah, like they had 3 starters, and that was it. And it was, and I think the team that everyone thought would won, and I guess we'll find out tonight that Shea won the MVP, I guess. Is that will they announce it tonight?
I feel like they were kind of waiting on this series to be over to make that announcment.
I think Jaw said it. Jaw tweeted they're waiting until Game 7's over.
Yeah, and then like the winner of this game also gets the MVP. It just showed like the first quarter they were kind of in it, and then the Thunder showed what they could do. It was almost like the second quarter was like the Cavaliers do, where they put the snow out in the stadium when they go on a big run. Like the Thunder just got gassed up in that second quarter, and heading into halftime, it was the bygone conclusion. Luke, I read a 380-page book on Sunday because the game was so boring. I just read my book while it was on, and I'd look up every once in a while. I'm like, well, it's still belt to ass, and I'd go right back to my book.
Yeah, it was like the half of that game started. It's a good half, not even a good half of basketball. I mean, Jokic went to the line like 10 times in the first half, but it was a close game of basketball, and then it just, like I said, belt to ass. Hopefully, the conference finals of the Timberwolves Thunder will be a little different. We've got probably the 2 best playoff defenses here. There's a lot you want to talk about depth. We've got the Thunder, who might have the deepest team in the in the playoffs currently. And then we have the Timberwolves, who have maybe the best 8. I mean, I don't know. I'm really excited about this game, and I feel like the Timberwolves have been not written off, but I feel like they're kind of forgotten about the series. And I don't know. I'm much more excited about this series than I think other people are.
Agreed. I think this is going to be good. This is going to be, you've got 2, you've got 2 of the premier guards in the league with SGA and Ant. You've got Mike Conley, Mo Captain, my captain. Shout out to Mike Conley. You've got some depth, man, with and Naz Reid and Jamie Daniels. You got some good guys on the Timberwolves, but like you said, man, that Thunder team is deep. They're athletic, and the onslaught can happen in a heartbeat. But like I said, these have been 2 of the better defending teams. You know, this T-Wolves team defends 1 through 5 at multiple, levels, starters and bench. I look for this to be a better series than people are thinking. Like you said, the T-Wolves are kind of getting written off. Oh, they're, they coasted in, whatever. I don't know, man. This could be a better series than people think, for sure.
Yeah, well, and I mean, so look, if you look at the matchups, like, so you've got who's going to guard Rudy? Is it going to be Hartenstein on Rudy, probably? I mean,
Chet will get Julius Randle.
I mean, Julius Randle's going to bully ball his ass all over the court. Like, that's I'm excited to see the Julius Randle.
It's just, can Minnesota keep it in a half-court game? Because, like, where Julius Randle gets in troubles when it turns into a track meet. He's unplayable when it's a back-and-forth track meet like Oklahoma City likes to get you in. They will play him off the court if they do that. And you'll see a lot more Naz Reid, and you'll see a lot more some null minutes, like a lot of other things like that. But if they can keep it slow in the mud and a half-court offense, like Parrish was saying, that's where Julius Randle thrives. And if they can keep the game slowed down and not let Oklahoma City start running it out, it could be different. I'm curious to see, Luke, what are your thoughts on this? What does it look like? So Alex Caruso has spent the last 2 series guarding Jaren, guarding Jokic. They clearly don't mind putting him on a big. Do you think that they go with him maybe on Julius Randle, or is he going to be locking up Ant trying to slow him down?
I think it's going to also depend. I think however the whistle goes in this series will depend on a lot, because Caruso was hacking the shit out of Joker
and grabbing just like he was Jaren, both of them.
And I don't know if Randle ain't as big as those other 2 guys, just height wise. I mean, he probably could eat Caruso for breakfast, but yeah, I think if they let this play out a little bit, I don't think Caruso. I think Randle is bigger and more of a bully than those guys, because Joker's a bully. But he had to do a lot more than just bully the guy in front of him. He was trying to read the defense, figure out where everything had to go. Randle can just go in there and be like, okay, boy, let's one-on-one. Let's fight.
I got other people that can help you, right? Ant on the perimeter. You got other folks, that I can get the ball to, so they can just give it to me in the post and I can beat it back.
Exactly.
And he brings up a good point. Like Caruso, everybody was like screaming about how bad Jaren was with Caruso on him. He was doing the same thing to Nikola Jokic, that he grabs, he holds. He's a very physical defender, and that's what Oklahoma City does well. That's what I've been saying all along. Is they will push the envelope, forcing the referees to make defensive foul calls. And oftentimes they won't, because they don't want to chop up the game or whatever. We saw it got out of hand some of the Denver game when Joker went to the line so much. But Oklahoma City is going to lean into that. And what Minnesota needs to do is lean right back into it. Be physical. Be in there with them to where those fouls are going to be more noticeable. And so, Caruso was holding Jaren, holding Nikola Jokic, and shutting those guys down. But we've got to, like Minnesota has to attack right at Caruso with Julius Randle's size.
Yeah, which I shout out Wayno in here too. Like it's how the size that Randle is up against here will be interesting, because
agreed.
They can throw Hartenstein at him. They can throw Chet at him if they really want to. They've got the other Jalen Williams.
Minnesota can go just as big here. I mean, I don't know that this would be something you would consider, but Naz Reid, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert is a huge, huge lineup. Then you put Nall or McDaniels at the 2 and Ant at the 1. Like, that's a huge lineup. And so Oklahoma City's got some size, but Minnesota could throw some size right back at them.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the coaching in this, the coaching and the 2 superstars, because I want to see how Ant does. you know,
and the light's going to be the brightest. This is a moment, you know, they back-to-back Western Conference Finals. They've got playoff scars now, right? They've been there and they know how to play. I'm curious what that's going to look like, how he's going to show up on this stage, right? He's talking his talk, you know, he's eliminated Luka and LeBron, and he's taken out Steph and Jimmy Butler. Now he's got a shot at SGA. Like he's checking off the hit list, and can that continue in the Western Conference Finals?
Man, I would like, I mean, I think we were both aligned. I think we both really, really like Ant. So it's like, I would really like to see him continue this. I would also, everything aside, I would like to see Mike Conley get a ring.
No doubt. Even if that means Gobert getting one, I would like to see Mike Conley get a ring.
Yes, agreed. And Conley's been playing really, really well. I think that if he keeps holding up like this, they're going to stand a much greater chance of beating this OKC team than I guess people are giving them a shot.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I mean, agreed. He's been doing fine as a point guard. He's not the scorer that he used to be, but he can facilitate and run the offense and be that calming presence. And maybe he can be the guy that slows down some of that OKC onslaught. But it's going to be all hands on deck. I mean, this Oklahoma City team lost 14 games in 82 tries. Like, they ain't no slouch. And so Minnesota's going to have to play their absolute best basketball if they're going to win. This Thunder team is no joke. They're one of the better teams we've seen in a long time. Like, I mean, obviously they're going to be a heavy favorite. I don't know what the line is. I'll look that up here in just a few minutes while you're chatting. But it could, Oklahoma City is going to be a huge favorite. I wouldn't count out Minnesota quite yet.
Yep. I'm excited. I think we're in for two really good series regardless. Let's move over to the Eastern Conference.
The Thunder are 6.5 point home favorite, by the way.
See, that's good. I mean,
I think I might put some money on Minnesota and I see if I can win a little bit.
I sound pretty good. Moving over to the Eastern Conference, we've got the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers, man. I'm really excited for this series too. I don't know. It's just nice that I think Ueno said in the comments that we're going to have a first-time champion. And that's so exciting.
It is. It's cool.
It's cool. And I'm just, this New York Knicks team might have the best starting five in the playoffs. They have found in this Boston series their other two guys, Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson, are playable. I don't know. I'm excited. This Knicks team, this is just going to be two very different styles of play, very two different. I don't know. I'm excited.
And it's very nostalgic, right? 1995 call. They want their series back, right? Because it's going to be everything. Like, you've got Spike Lee in the Garden, Reggie Miller on the call. These two teams have some bad blood and some histories.
We grew up watching this series.
That's it. Like, this was our childhood in the 90s, right? These were two teams in the East that were battling out for the opportunity to lose to Michael Jordan in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? That was their whole thing, right?
Yep.
But these two teams are just fun to watch. Like, Indiana is such a pure basketball team. Like, they're so good in the half court. They play as a unit. That field house in Indy gets so loud. It's been the loudest crowd pop out of any of the games so far in the playoffs have been at the Pacers. And so it's going to be fun. Like, can Thibodeau's team finally not run out of gas, right? Because we've seen them get to this level before and then they start faltering. Like, what's that going to look like? I think finding McBride and Mitchell Robinson help a lot in that. But I think this is also going to be a hell of a series.
I mean, because the Pacers they like to play everybody, like they play. I mean, how many guys? I mean, they played 10 guys.
It couldn't be more opposite because Tibbs has got his 5 guys. He runs out a couple more. And Indiana's like the ultimate team basketball. They've got a bunch of role players who are playing above their heads. They've got a part-time superstar in Hallie, meaning like sometimes he's really good, sometimes he's really not. But they're getting like great mileage out of Obi Toppin and Mathurin and Neesmith and some of these guys that they'll be able to throw at the Knicks and give them a lot of different looks and give them a lot of defensive looks to where they can grind with this Knicks team and be aggressive defensively because they've got some depth that they can get breaks, get breathers, and keep the intensity up.
Man, this game, you would talk about two rocking crowds too. We're going to go from the Garden to the Pace. It's going
to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. Whoever comes out of this,
such good basketball, man.
It's going to be great basketball. That's at the end of the day, I just really want good basketball. And it looks like we might get get it in both of these, and that's just exciting.
Wayno's talking about how bad the Knicks fans have been. There's nothing quite like the Thunder fans, though. Thunder fans on Twitter are the absolute worst because they're all like 14. They have no hindsight of the NBA. They think everybody's out to get them and hates SGA. I'm like, bro, you ain't got a freaking clue, man. They're the most disgusting people. If you say anything about them, like anything about SGA on Twitter, they just come ruthlessly. And so I don't think that I've wanted a team to lose as badly as I want the Thunder to get just blown out by Minnesota.
Yeah, those fans, they could really use an ounce of hope.
Hey,
Here at the Daily Grind at Bluff City Media, we're excited to partner with Ounce of Hope. It's Memphis's premier cannabis dispensary. I'm an out-of-towner. I appreciate how easy it is to use the online shopping hub at ounceofhope.com, as you can see below. There you can find detailed descriptions of all their products, the exact dosages, and you can bundle all that stuff to share. It's awesome. Dive into the world of superfood mushrooms, guys. Optimize your well-being. It's awesome. Yeah. Enjoy a peaceful blend with one of their elixirs or add a buzz with the Vitality Mushroom Gummies. They're useful for antioxidants or potential neuroprotective properties. Their mushrooms can also stimulate an appetite with or without the addition of THC. It's not just the Grateful Dead traveling cross country anymore, guys. We can enjoy it too. Discover the power of mushrooms to enhance your wellness journey today. Again, find your favorite product, ounceofhope.com. Use the code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts, and one use per customer. Again, that's Bluff City at ounceofhope.com. Check it out, guys. They're awesome.
Go check it out.
They're great. Let's get back. We got two teams that are no longer with us. Not like that. That sounded rough. But it's time to reboot, retool. Oh man, people just reboot, retool. Let's start with Denver. Did I spell it right? Rebooting, man. Spelling, rebooting, and retooling without that G on either of them is kind of hard. Reboot or retool. What does Denver do? I think Denver's in a situation where they have to. I mean, why would you? They've got the best player in the world. You retool around that guy.
Yeah, agreed. I'm curious what this looks like, right? I don't think Russ is going to be back. I don't think, Jamal Murray is going to be an interesting one. What are they going to do with Michael Porter Jr.? Like, clearly Jokic needs some help, right? It became very obvious late in that Thunder series that it was Nikola Jokic was literally weekend at Bernie's with most of his team, like just carrying their corpse around, like he's lugging them around, right? They need some help. They need some shooting and they need some bench help. They're in a precarious kind of situation up against the cap. That's part of why they haven't moved a whole lot. I'm curious what they're going to do, how they're going to restructure some of these guys, move some of these guys. Because, again, as long as you got Nikola Jokic, you've got a puncher's chance at being in the Western Conference Finals. But he clearly needs some help.
Yeah, it's a weird situation because Jokic needs help. They clearly need to retool around him, but this is an this ownership group. They are notorious for not paying their guys. I mean, they let KCP walk. They let Bruce Brown walk. They let their dudes walk. So I'm
looking at their salary cap. It's brutal. Their situation is brutal. So they owe Nikola Jokic 51 this year, 55, 59, and 62 in 2027. He's still got $165 million guaranteed. Jamal Murray still has $243 million guaranteed to him. 36, 46, 50, 53, 57. And what might be one of the worst contracts, they owe Michael Porter Jr. 35, 38, and 40 million over the next 3 years.
That one's tough.
Aaron Gordon is still owed 112 million. Like, it's good. Like, that's tough. I would not be surprised if one of those guys gets moved. I don't know who would take on Michael Porter Jr.'s contract, but could you move a Jamal Murray to make room for a Christian Brown who's going to be owed a big payday coming up this offseason?
I thought my dog was going to jump up here with me. He heard us talk. If you see me doing this on the video, I'm not out of my mind.
I was
hey, what's Luke?
I was like, y'all need a room?
Never mind. Boy, you made me look weird. I want to throw this up here. If Christian Brown, this is from shout out DG. If Christian Brown makes $30 million with an extension, is the main contract really that bad?
Yeah, it's still not a great contract.
Still
because Wayno said, like, he's a running back trying to play quarterback. Like, Bane should do one thing: catch and shoot or catch and lay out. Like, there shouldn't be a lot of dribbling for Desmond Bane. But anyway,
trying to the situation here with Denver, man, it's like their contract, like trying to move off of these guys.
Yeah, man.
How much value does Michael Porter Jr. currently have around the league is my thing, because it's like you got to hope that someone sees him and is like, hey, I like that guy. I like the ceiling of that guy. I want him. And same with Jamal Murray. Like, what? Yeah, playoff Jamal is great, but like,
I think what they'll do is they will keep Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and Christian Brown. I think Aaron Gordon might be one that you see moved unless he's willing to restructure, which he has a player option for next year to opt in, or he can opt out. So I'd be curious what they do with that. Michael Porter Jr. only has 2 more guaranteed years. The 26-27 is not fully guaranteed. So it feels like those are your guys that are either going to restructure or move.
Yeah, it is. Porter. So yeah, lots on Porter Jr. Not going to contender. Porter Jr. is such an. It's a lot of money.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something came out where him and John Tay were in cahoots and he's out of the league here pretty soon too. But then again, the Nuggets ownership did say that they love him because he's a Missouri Tiger, so he may not be going anywhere.
It's just so silly. Let's go to the other team. Talk about rebooting or retooling them. Boston Celtics, they are also out. And also in a very, very tough situation up against the cap. They owe a lot of money to like their top 8. They've got Tatum.
They are the 3rd highest guaranteed salary this year, and then next year they will be the highest at 227.
Yep, and that's with Jason Tatum missing all season.
Yeah, so it feels like there's going to be some changes in Boston. They've already kind of come out and said as much, right? It's one of the worst kept secrets in the NBA is Jaylen Brown is going to be on the market. Are they going to move Drew Holiday? They seem pretty dead set on rebuilding around Jason Tatum. So it feels like Brown might be the odd man out. Listen, if he ended up in Beale Street Blue next year, I would not be upset about that. Problem is they're probably not going to be looking for a $40 million contract on a Desmond Bane when they're trying to restructure and rebuild. So maybe that's an option. Maybe not. He's going to command some pretty high value, which we can provide with Desmond Bane again, maybe a GG and some draft picks. But it feels like they're going to almost like reboot around Jason Tatum if that's an option. So it's kind of like a little bit of both right now. It's not a full blow up, but it feels like with Tatum being out for next year as well, recovering from an Achilles tear, now's the time to kind of hit a hard reset.
Yeah. I mean, well, and like not Memphis, but like a team like Memphis. I mean, Drew Holiday is what we wanted Marcus Smart to be when we made that acquisition. Like,
right,
they can probably get something back for Drew. He's making a lot of money. That contract is a lot.
I mean, he's still got $97 million guaranteed. Tatum's 277, and Jaylen Brown's 285. I mean, there's still some big money owed to these people. Derek White's owed $111 million. Like there's some big money owed to these folks.
I mean, and they got guys like Kristaps Porzingis can't breathe. I mean, it's like.
Now, Al Horford's like 45, but he's 38, but he can still shoot the lights out when you need him to. And he's only like, this was his last year on his deal, but he's only owed $9.5 million. He'd probably come back on a vet min and stick around in Boston. But like, what is that going to look like? Is Porzingis going to get shipped? It feels like Jaylen Brown will be the one that's like probably one of the first big dominoes to fall this summer. But it feels like Boston's in kind of like a reboot light almost, where they just reboot around Jason Tatum.
Like a diet reboot.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I like it. Well,
reboot with 0 calories, right?
Yeah. They're probably the team that I'm most excited to see their reboot process because they've got enough good players who a lot of other teams could want that they could potentially ship out to reshuffle this roster, and I'm excited to see how it ends.
Yeah, and then you got a guy like Peyton Pritchard's only owed $30 million through 27, 28. Like, you could rebuild around that guy. Like, you can hang on to him. You can hang on to some of these pieces. Cornette's a guy. This is last year on his deal as well. Like, there's some guys that you can build around. Sam Hauser. Like, you can keep some of these pieces, move Jaylen Brown, and get some other core pieces back at a more reasonable salary, which, next year, Jaylen Brown's owed $53 million. Maybe that $40 million contract for Desmond Bane doesn't look so bad.
That's true. When you say that, we'll see. This is shaping up to be a pretty
interesting summer.
An interesting summer. That's, for we talked about the free agent class, it not being super inspiring. It's still shaping up with the cap situation to be quite an interesting summer, which You know?
Yeah, that cap situation is really going to have teams acting foolish because they don't want nobody. Like everybody's very clearly afraid of that the shelves, like the tiers, right? The getting into the luxury tax. Like people are obviously very afraid of that. So there's going to be some reshuffling of the deck this summer, and probably see some guys in some uniforms that we didn't think that we saw. That we were going to see.
It's so close to being like an actual hard cap, but not being a hard cap because it's like a hard cap in theory.
Mm-hmm. We're not rebuilding around those cats. We're using those guys to rebuild around Jason Tatum. Like, listen, if you're reading about rebuilding around Hauser, Cornette, and Pritchard, you're gonna need a whole pound of hope, not just an ounce.
Big three of Hauser, Cornette, and Pritchard, baby.
Wait, the caucasity of that.
The caucasity. Oh, the caucasity. Oh, I love that. Last thing I want to talk about today, brother. It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and we tube on Tuesday. And I'm excited. Oh, for those of the uninitiated, I don't know if you haven't watched our show before, we talk about what we're watching on TV on Tuesdays because everybody has the TV. I'm happy to go first because I went to the movies yesterday for my birthday. I saw a movie called Friendship. It is an hour and a half, hour, 40 minutes. It's got Paul Rudd.
Love that.
And Tim Robinson, who's a really funny sketch comedian. He's got the show I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's really funny. One of the best sketches is he's a guy in a hot dog car in a hot dog costume who wrecks into the front of a clothing store and then pretends that it wasn't him. And he's in the hot dog costume. He's like, who did this? Who did this? And everyone's like, it was you, man. That's a hot dog car. And he's like, what? That guy looks like a hot dog. And it's a guy in a brown suit. It's the two of them. And the whole premise of the movie is one of them is a lonely guy and he gets mail delivered to his front porch. And it's not his address. It's not his name. He takes it to his neighbor. And then he and his neighbor decide he wants to become best friends with his neighbor. And it's about adult men trying to become friends and the hilarity that ensues. And it was really, really funny. It's absurd. Yeah. And I love Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's great. That man's 55. I don't understand.
Yeah, I saw him. Maggie's watching Only Murders in the Building, and he had an Irish accent, a thick Irish accent in that show the other night. And I was like, that's wild.
He's insane. I would just, if you have an hour and a half and you want to go laugh a lot, go check this movie out.
He's also great in Parks and Rec as the son who runs for city council. So such a good role. Such a good role.
Well, he's so stupid.
Yeah, he's so stupid, but he's the son of the candy factory.
The Sweetums candy.
Sweetums candy. He's their son, their billionaire playboy's son. He dumps a box of hammers, but it's funny.
So good.
But yeah, so I actually have not watched a ton of TV lately. Like I said, I read my book on Sunday. Maggie and I did watch. We're big true crime fans.
Yeah.
And she's got me turned on to a podcast called Morbid. The Morbid girls cover a lot of like true crime and stuff. And one of them they covered was Fred and Rose West, this couple in England who had a murder spree that lasted from like the late 60s all the way up into the 80s. And so it's like 20 plus years. It's called a Fred and Rose West, a British horror story.
Oh.
And so if you listen to the Morbid podcast, they focus more on the actual crimes. This was more about like the catching of Fred and Rose West and then the trial that followed. It was super interesting. It's 3 episodes, less than 2 hours total, maybe an hour and 45 total for the 3 episodes. Worth the time watching. It was very enjoyable, as much as something like that can be, right? It's true crime, like it's heavy. Yeah. So watch that. Would recommend that. It's on Netflix. It was good. I also watched, speaking of belt to ass, I watched Scotty Scheffler put on a performance this weekend.
Yeah,
like,
let's talk about it.
The true GOAT. At one point, he was like, in order to win money on Scotty Scheffler, he was like 30,000 were the odds for him. Like minus 30. Like it was something ridiculous, like on Sunday, because he was just lapping the field and making putts that were just unbelievably stupid. Then you got Bryson DeChambeau, who had a full-on meltdown live on color television.
Yeah.
And like he was just humming along and like birdie, par, birdie, bogey, double bogey. And it's just like, yikes. So yeah, the PGA Championship is great. Quail Hollow is such a great golf course. It's beautiful. Bryson got in trouble because he got in the rough, which was 3.5 inches thick. And if these guys are hitting good golf shots out of that, brother. If that was me, I'd be just digging a ditch over there, putting in some new irrigation.
That's a lot of grass. That's a lot of grass. Yeah. I don't know people that don't. That's a lot of grass to try to.
That's hard to get a golf ball up and out, much less up and out and 150 yards down range. And so, Scotty Scheffler is one of the true GOATs in sport right now. Like there are a few people who are like he's truly the number one golfer in the world. there are a few people in sports that are doing what he does at that level right now.
I'm glad you brought the PGA up because he's one of the dudes where it's like I take for granted how good that dude is at golf until I watch him, and then I'm like, whoa. And
Yeah, this was a huge storyline too because there's been some rumblings that Rory won the Masters with an illegal driver, and so they did a huge driver check, and Scotty lost his first driver. Like a handful of people lost their primary driver and had to go to their backup because of some of the backing and some of the loft on the drivers were not legal. And so it was a completely different PGA event because of that. They hadn't done that in a long time, so that was an interesting twist on it. But like Quail Hollow, if you remember too, Luke, a year ago when they were there was where Scheffler got arrested, right? He got pulled out of his car and arrested. And so in true GOAT fashion, on opening day, he wears an orange polo to match the orange jumpsuit that he had on a year ago. What a comeback for Scotty Scheffler, man. One of the like most squeaky clean dudes in sports, right? Loves his wife, big religious guy, doesn't do anything wrong or heinous, gets arrested, and then just turns his life around to become the number one golfer in the world.
and then when he shows up, they're like, can't use that driver. He's like, cool.
I'm just going to go 13 under on the weekend and beat everybody by 6 strokes.
Suck it.
It is like it was a bygone conclusion at like 4:00 Saturday afternoon. Like Sunday was just a glorified victory lap for Scotty Scheffler. Man,
really cool. Just to watch someone who is like the GOAT at their sport perform at the GOAT level. It's just great. It's just cool. It's why we love sports. I mean, who says
like Scotty Scheffler is better at golf than I'll ever be at anything, like shoe tying, breakfast cooking, like whatever. Like he's just the GOAT. Like he's just the GOAT. Like, I just wish I was that good at something like he is.
And we are not, but we can hope to be. That's gonna do it for our show today. Scotty, if you're watching, shout us out. I don't know why you would be watching. He's doing the show. He's doing other things right now, I imagine. We will be back tomorrow to talk about. We got a game tonight. We need the Timberwolves' first game of the Western Conference Finals. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Thank you for hanging out in the comments and joining us today, y'all. Have a good day. And if we can leave you with anything today, like we do, remember these 2 things. Remember to be a little weird, just a little bit, and remember to smile. Bye, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.